This is CNN.
It's Showbiz Today with Bella Shaw in Hollywood and Laurin Sydney in New York. The beating, the verdict, the tumultuous aftermath of the Rodney King case. What role did television play? Also, for a second year in a row, country megastar Garth Brooks dominates the Academy of Country Music Awards, and Married with Children travels to England. Those stories and more on Showbiz Today.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Showbiz Today. Show business is the last thing on the minds of most people in Hollywood today. Los Angeles television stations are continuing extensive live coverage of the violent reaction to the acquittal of 4 LAPD officers who beat motorist Rodney King. TV has played a major role throughout the Rodney King incident and its aftermath. Dennis Michael has the story.
From the moment the beating was captured on videotape by a camcorder owner, this was a television story. Outraged reaction came in from around the world at the images of Rodney King's treatment at the hands and batons of a group of Los Angeles police officers. The trial, when moved to nearby Simi Valley, became a daily staple of local television. The local Fox TV affiliate in Los Angeles, KTTV, carried large portions of the trial, deleting entire blocks of daytime programming to do so. Others packaged the highlights of each day's argument and testimony to be recorded in the early morning hours. Viewers nationwide followed the trial as it was covered on network news and particularly the Court TV cable channel. The word of Wednesday's not guilty verdicts was delivered to the community via television.
We, the jury, in the above entitled action, find the defendant, Lawrence M. Powell, not guilty of the crime of assault by force likely to produce great bodily injury and with a deadly weapon.
Film director John Singleton was on the scene in Simi Valley.
By having this verdict, what these people have done, they lit the fuse to a bomb. And what happens after this, people are going to point to this, okay? That's all I have to say.
Programming returned to normal following the verdict, but within hours, local coverage went live again. TV helicopters caught the beginnings of the night of violence as a white worker was pulled from his truck and beaten. And as an originally non-violent demonstration at the downtown LAPD Parker Center turned ugly. And as African-American leaders gathered at a local church, many expressed their outrage.
Basically what that verdict said to us was that a black life isn't worth anything. We've been saying that for years. The whole world saw it on the videotape, and then today for that verdict to come down makes no sense to me. It makes no sense to everybody here.
Mayor Tom Bradley urged the inflamed community to stay calm.
We, my friends, have been challenged. We've been abused.
We've been abused!
We are determined to turn this around and take the power control under our hands.
As night fell, helicopters filled the smoky skies over south central Los Angeles, and the dial filled with scenes of blazing buildings, looters, and confrontations. Some observers of television's role in this case are media figures who also have an intense personal concern about LA's African-American community.
It was a difficult decision for the jurors because the spotlight was on them. And that's, you know, if it was no light on the situation, they would have made it like, boom, okay, no problem. But the pressure came on because it was highly illuminated by media.
Los Angeles is a widespread metropolis, much of it separated from South Central LA by both geography and culture. But because of television, a small incident over a year ago has now reached every neighborhood and every home. Dennis Michael, CNN Entertainment News, Hollywood.
The impact of events in Los Angeles are being felt throughout the entertainment community today. CNN has learned over a half-dozen film sets, and the offices of the cable network E! Entertainment Television were shut down in response to the volatile situation in L.A. Celebrities such as Harry Connick Jr. and Jimmy Smits canceled publicity appearances. Local sports teams have postponed their games, and the Dennis Miller Show has canceled its taping for today. Joining us now in our Hollywood studios to discuss the media's coverage of the violence in Los Angeles, is Peter Bart, a journalist who has worked for such notable publications as the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times, the Chicago Sun-Times, and he's currently the editor of Variety magazine. Peter, thanks for joining us. You know, some television news directors in Los Angeles were fearful of showing the violence on television because they thought it would create more violence or outbursts. How can the media handle this role?
I think it's inconceivable even to think about not covering it. It's a great news story. That's what television is all about. Besides, on that argument, 27 years ago during Watts, when I was covering the Watts riots, television news was relatively in its infancy. There were no choppers, etc. And yet, the things spread like wildfire anyway. So I don't really think that one can argue intelligently that this thing spreads because of television coverage.
Really no difference then in covering Watts and covering this today?
Well, there was a big difference in that the emphasis was then not on the choppers, as I say, but you really sort of felt you were in the community. I mean, there were remotes. It was a whole different style of coverage. There's something strange about high-tech coverage now. You feel like it's a dream world, that it's not really happening.
It's
Indeed,
a movie.
It's a movie. You feel like the anchor people themselves are so intoxicated with the high-tech coverage that they don't make the judgments. They don't make the analysis.
Sure, they're caught up in the fervor. Now, Peter, let me ask you this. Take away the helicopters and the cameras and the satellite trucks and the Fres lights and everything, and do you think there would still be this kind of violence?
I think there would. I think it is a social movement, if you will.
Let me ask you this. Coincidentally, it is May sweeps.
Yes. It's a cynical way to look at it.
Yeah.
But I think, irrespective of the sweeps, the coverage would have been just as substantial as it is now. It's a great television story. And look at the bright side. Geraldo got bumped.
Well, on that note, a more positive one, fortunately. Thank you, Peter, for joining us.
For those of you who have been reluctant to wear a hearing aid, Miracle Ear has more great news. If you have trouble hearing in noisy situations, the exciting Miracle Ear Clarifier may be your answer. The Clarifier features a special filter that automatically reduces background noise.
In a restaurant situation, it picks up the noises I want to hear, but the other noises are just moved off into the background.
If you or someone you know thinks they may be suffering from hearing loss, call Miracle Ear at this number and receive helpful information.
It really makes a lot of difference in your way of hearing and your way of life.
Call this number. Miracle Ear will send you a booklet on better hearing, plus a coupon for a free hearing test. Call today. Learn about all the good news from Miracle Ear.
A lot of people don't even know you got it, especially the one I got, the design that I got.
Call this number. Find out if Miracle Ear can help you.
An interesting thing is happening to driving enthusiasts. They're multiplying, and that's a blessed event for the Saab 9000 Turbo, which not only does 0 to 60 faster than a BMW 535i, but has one of the roomiest interiors of any imported sedan. The Saab 9000 Turbo, the sports sedan you grow into, not out of.
To get rid of her gray, my wife can spend 40 minutes. But I discovered the 5-minute hair coloring.
The revolutionary discovery called Just for Men from the leader in men's hair coloring. Simply apply Just for Men and in 5 minutes shampoo out.
Gray is blended away. The look of my natural color is back in 5 minutes. That was me, and it won't fade or wash out.
My hair takes forever, but you look great in just 5 minutes.
The look of your natural color in just 5 minutes with Just for Men.
Yoplait, low fat, calcium rich, with active yogurt cultures. It's something 40-year-old Vicky Gentry does every day. Smooth, creamy Yoplait. Do it for you.
Continuing our update on the latest developments in Los Angeles, Thursday afternoon, Arsenio Hall and Edward James Olmos met with black community leaders in a church just 1 block away from where buildings and cars continue to burn. Hall and Olmos joined local religious leaders in making a plea to the South Central LA community to stop the violence.
I just want my people to understand there is a way we have to go about solving this problem. We cannot solve the problem of violence in our society by police officers, by using violence on innocent people. We can't pull random white people out of cars and beat them up to show them how it feels. That's the wrong way.
Arsenio Hall plans to address the issues surrounding the unfolding events in Los Angeles on his syndicated talk show tonight. Bella?
It was a little more than a year ago when the now infamous videotape of the Rodney King beating was first broadcast. 1 month later, some of Hollywood's best-known black actors gathered at a news conference to underscore what they called widespread police harassment of minorities. Wesley Snipes and Blair Underwood cited the Rodney King beating as just one example and described their own experiences in dealing with police. As our Dennis Michael reported at the top of our show, Underwood attended a rally in Los Angeles Wednesday night where community leaders voiced outrage at the verdict in the trial of 4 LA police officers. And Blair Underwood joins us now in our Hollywood studios.
Hey, Bill.
Blair, how were you treated by police?
Well, that's a story I've mentioned before. Basically, I had a gun put to my head and kind of harassed by the cops. But more importantly, I know we don't have a lot of time. I just want to say, because LA is on fire right now. I know it looks like a few studios near here are closing down, and the violence is moving up here. I need to say to everybody who's out there doing the violence, we need to chill with that. I mean, I understand as a brother who's been harassed by the cops. I'm pissed off. And we got a whole city pissed off. It's not just black people. It's black people, white people. When they look at that tape, as the whole world saw the tape, and they saw what those cops did, and for the jury to sit back and say that's okay, this violence was expected, and it will get worse, and that's happening now. And it's scary to see that, but what I need to say, what little it can do, hopefully, is to say we need to stop. But I understand it, but we need to focus that some different way.
Was the verdict expected?
I don't know if, for me, I can only speak for myself, I don't know if the verdict was expected, but I knew if the verdict came down like it did, this would happen. You know, it was Martin Luther King who said, a riot is the language of the unheard. When we live in a city where a Korean woman could shoot a black woman, a black girl in the back and get away with it, community time, and we live in a country where you have a man that rapes a woman, which is wrong, William Kennedy Smith, and gets off, and Tyson, who rapes a woman, which is wrong, but he goes to jail, there's a problem. When you have this videotape and these cops get off scot-free, there's a problem. And the rumblings have been there. Now it's exploding.
Blair, you have your finger on the pulse of the black community. What are we going to be seeing in the next few days?
I don't know. I can't say that. But what I can say, this is probably the worst timing that could have happened, because the day before this, the 2 biggest factions of gangs in South Central signed a peace treaty, which has been unprecedented. So when they're combined, and then this happens in the face of the entire black community, but not only the black community, again, it's all citizens. And I'm hearing this from everybody. They're saying if our police force can do that to a citizen, they can do that to anybody. They have carte blanche.
Do we know if any of this violence is gang-related?
I don't know, but I can say it's not only that. I mean, I keep hearing reporters saying it's just the gangbangers out there. It's everybody. It's young, old, black, white, everybody. You got a pissed off city right here. And Daryl Gates and the Los Angeles Police Department needs to do something about it. And hopefully this new chief coming in, Williams, will do something about it.
You know, Blair, you're only 1 year old when Watts happened. But ironically, you played the role of a black reporter in the TNT movie Heat Wave, which dealt with the Watts uprising. Any similarities, or are times worse now? Or?
Yeah, there are a lot of similarities, but yeah, it's much worse now, because now we got automatic weapons on the streets. And right now, as in last night, the first night, this spread out to downtown into Westwood. During the Watts riots, most was contained right there in the Watts area. This stuff, it's spreading fast. Here we are on the second day, it's been nonstop, and it's moving up here, up north, toward Westwood, toward Hollywood. It's spreading fast.
Well, thank you, Blair, for providing your message.
We need to chill with that. I understand the anger, but we need to just kind of pull back.
And we thank you for your comments.
All of these children have one thing in common. All of them were unplanned pregnancies. Pregnancies that could have ended in abortion. But their parents toughed it out, listened to their hearts, and discovered along the way that sometimes the best things in life aren't planned. Life. What a beautiful choice.
It's life.
Unbelievable.
At the company picnic, and his team lost.
Riding high in a prairie, shot down in mud.
Our employee health plan covers him, right?
Yes and no. With co-payments and deductibles, it's still plenty.
He breaks it at the company picnic. His team loses. And he has to lay out his own money.
He must love us right about now.
Gaps in your health plan can be costly. Aflac can help. Aflac is a leader in supplemental insurance with 35 years of dependable service. Today, employees of over 80,000 companies count on Aflac to get on with their lives.
Pick myself up and get back in the race, that's life.
You've got to do better than that.
But it won't get me down.
Any ideas?
Yeah, Aflac.
'Cause this whole world keeps
Aflac, insuring over 35 million people worldwide.
This is one of your most important business tools. But on the road, are you constantly tied up waiting for messages? Now freedom can be in the palm of your hand, because today there's Mobilecom nationwide messaging. It's America's most complete paging service. Mobilecom gives you more coverage coast to coast, customized regional coverage, and text messaging. So don't get tied up waiting on messages. Get Mobilecom nationwide messaging. Just call 1-800-685-5555.
Of all denture adhesives, only one holds the strongest, and it's just taken a turn for the better. Fixitant's new Easy Twist Cap. It's bigger, it's a snap to open, and it's one more reason to fix a dent and forget it.
This is CNN Breaking News.
Hello, I'm Jonathan Mann at the CNN Center in Atlanta. More trouble tonight. Authorities far beyond South Central Los Angeles taking steps to end strife in their communities. An hour ago, San Francisco Mayor Frank Jordan declared a state of emergency in the Bay City. Jordan imposed an overnight curfew, making his city the third to take that step after LA and Atlanta. The measures in response to rioting, looting, and attacks on police officers that left 5 of them injured. More than 340 people have been arrested in San Francisco. Los Angeles, meanwhile, continues to suffer a second night of arson, looting, vandalism, and violence, despite a curfew and the deployment of the National Guard. The death toll continues to rise. Now 23 deaths have been reported by the LA County, according to the LA County Sheriff's Department. More than 900 people have been injured. Fires and looting spread beyond South Central Los Angeles, from downtown to the suburban San Fernando Valley. Even the National Guard is not immune to attack. Looters apparently fired on Guard troops as they arrived at a video arcade. The Guard, armed with M16 rifles and machine guns, did not return fire. That's the situation to this moment. We'll have a full hour of news coming up in 15 minutes. Stay with us. I'm Jonathan Mann.
Though Los Angeles was the host city for this year's Academy of Country Music Awards, local TV viewers there didn't get to see the ceremonies because of the coverage of the violence in the area. But in showbiz, the saying goes, the show must go on, and so it did. Yolanda Gaskins reports from Hollywood on the evening's big winners.
And the top new duet or group winner is Brooks and Dunn.
We know we were a long shot. I mean, we were just here for a TV appearance. I mean, we were here for exposure.
Awards for both Single of the Year and Album of the Year went to Alan Jackson's Don't Rock the Jukebox.
So don't rock the jukebox, play me a country song.
Willie Nelson, celebrating his 59th birthday, was honored with the Pioneer Award, presented by his longtime friend Chris Christopherson. And it was a surprise, kind of.
Well, you'll never know for sure, because I'll never tell him for sure, them, that I knew for sure, but I suspect it's something.
Up to the last minute, I thought maybe they pulled one on me.
Yeah, he never did know but what it was going the other way, and I didn't either.
The female categories were a bit more predictable. As expected, newcomer Trisha Yearwood was recognized as new female vocalist of the year, but she was surprised backstage with another award.
She has the fastest selling platinum debut album by any country female artist in history. This went down just a few days ago, and we wanted to share this moment with you while we had the opportunity.
Thank you. Let me hold it. And Reba McEntire won in 2 categories. She received top honors for Female Vocalist and Video of the Year for her song, Is There Life Out There?
When she was 20, she thought she was ready. Now she's not so sure.
But perhaps the biggest surprise of the evening were the Garth Brooks wins for Entertainer of the Year and Top Male Vocalist. Although he's considered today's country music darling and was expected to win just about everything, he lost 2 major categories to Alan Jackson. But those disappointments only made winning the big ones that much sweeter.
I'd like to say thanks to the one person that always seems to make a male vocalist, and that is a female by the oddest things. I'd like to thank my wife, Sandy, for sticking with me.
Yolanda Gaskins for CNN Entertainment News, Hollywood.
Trial, The Price of Passion is a new 4-hour miniseries starring Peter Strauss and Jill Clayburgh. Sherry Dean talked with both actors and has this report.
If I were innocent, and I wasn't hoodwinking my lawyer, I'd pray a lot, and I'd go to trial.
When an innocent man is facing the death penalty and a guilty client is about to go free, the life of the lawyer for both can get complicated. That's the plot of the upcoming NBC miniseries, Trial, The Price of Passion. It stars Peter Strauss as defense attorney Warren Blackburn.
He has 2 capital murder cases where he has to represent 2 different socioeconomic backgrounds, and ultimately discovers in the middle of that there's a connection between these 2 very different cases.
I would like you to keep in mind that I will be vouching for the truth of everything you said.
An Emmy Award-winning actor known to viewers of the small screen for his many TV movies and miniseries, Strauss says his role in Trial was challenging.
This was my first lawyer, and maybe my last lawyer. Lawyers need to learn a lot of lines. Lawyers and doctors need to know a lot of terminology that's difficult to learn.
I am not prejudicing anybody, do you hear me? The next time you give me any lip like you just did, you're going to find yourself sleeping in a concrete cell.
Trial, The Price of Passion marks the miniseries debut for Jill Clayburgh. The 2-time Oscar nominee says her role of Judge Parker is a departure from any role she's played on the screen to date.
I really like to do character roles. It's what I really enjoy. She's very funny and nasty, and, you know, it's a real sort of intriguing role. It's fun to play someone who's very narrow and bigoted and angry.
I refuse to go on in this courtroom. I hold you in contempt right now. Your reputation. You thief.
Peter Strauss says the shooting schedule for the project was very tight, considering the length of the movie.
38 days. 38 days to produce 4 hours of film. That's excruciatingly difficult. It was act or die.
Strauss says he's hoping his next job will be on Broadway in a play.
Looking at a play now, I'm hungry for the theater. I'm hungry to spend that time playing with a role.
Sherry Dean, CNN Entertainment News, New York.
Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate goes to work on an open house. Expect it to be closed. Don't miss your new home. Visit a Better Homes and Gardens open house this weekend.
Here's 20 new reasons to visit Disney World this year. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Time out. This summer, you get in the Magic Kingdom before everyone, only if you stay at a participating hotel in the Walt Disney World Resort. The Magic Kingdom opens to you an hour early. You're first to enjoy the fun and the excitement. Rooms are from $85 per night, so call for your reservation today and get into the Magic Kingdom an hour early.
Now available on videocassette, Atlanta Braves, The Miracle Season. Swing into action as America warms up for spring training. Get a free Atlanta Braves tomahawk with every tape you order. Right now, The Miracle Season is a steal at only $19.98 per cassette, plus $5 shipping and handling. Don't walk, run to the phone and dial 1-800-257-1257. Or send check or money order to Atlanta Braves 91, The Miracle Season videotape offering. P.O. Box 8250, Atlanta, Georgia 30306. Georgia residents at 6% sales tax.
Finally today, can an obnoxious American television family survive in the United Kingdom? The producers of Married with Children think the answer is yes. They've moved the show to England to shoot some episodes for Sweeps Month and invited a CNN camera along. Senior entertainment correspondent Bill Tush has the story.
We just won a trip to England.
England? At first, the Bundys' British invasion appears to be a reversal of the usual Bundy bad luck.
Whoa, England!
They think they win a contest and come to England, and they are treated like kings.
But it turns out that the Bundys are not lucky contest winners at all. They were actually brought to the United Kingdom by the townspeople of a small English village.
There's this curse on this town called Lower Umpton, and the only way that the curse can be lifted is if the 2 remaining male Bundys are killed. So they bring us here basically to kill us.
The curse on the Bundys, which cast the town into eternal darkness, was placed upon it some 300 years ago by a witch who was insulted by Seamus McBundy, a distant relative of Al's who happened to be a horseshoe salesman.
I'm a great and powerful witch.
Not as powerful as the seams in your dress that keep yon belly off the floor.
Married with Children's cast and crew spent 3 weeks in London and Kent, England.
It's been really cold and wet since we've been here, so that's kind of it's kind of been a downer. But other than that, I mean, it's so beautiful, the history here.
And while you can take the Bundys out of their suburban Chicago home, you can't take the Bundy out of these not-so-royal subjects.
Them being in England, it's kind of funny, you know, because they're, you know, boorish and, you know, crude, and, you know, they don't know they are, though, so it's kind of amusing.
They just fit in like they fit in anywhere. They sort of bulldoze their way through.
Married with Children is seen in England, but the cast says the show is not as popular there as it is in other parts of Europe. And for the most part, they were not recognized there.
Here, it's pretty much new, and it's on real late at night on Friday nights. So some people are starting, a lot more people, because I was here like a year ago, and no one knew the show. And now that I've come back, I mean, still, a few people know it now.
You can see the Bundys on the run in England for 3 episodes on the Fox network over the next 3 Sundays. Bill Tush, CNN Entertainment News, New York.
And that is it for today's show. Please join us tomorrow for Sybil Shepherd and her new TV movie, Stormy Weathers. In New York, I'm Laurin Sidney.
And in Hollywood, I'm Bella Shaw. And for everyone here at Showbiz Today, thanks for watching.
Rock the jukebox, wanna hear some Jones. My heart ain't ready for the Rolling Stones. I don't feel like rocking since my baby.
It's pretty rough up there today. There's always something. Weather, traffic. Just means we got to be in control every minute. Just glad the Honeywell control systems help take care of the navigating. Besides shorter flight times and fuel savings, now we can really focus on the flying. Anything that helps lighten our workload is more luxury. It's a necessity.
Honeywell, helping you control your world.
For tires, there's only one name I look up to.
America's #1 name in tires.
And there's one tire store that I trust.
Is now at America's #1 tire store. Goodyear comes to Sears. And right now, selected Goodyear tires are introductory priced.
I got Goodyear tires. I got them backed by Sears. I don't need to hear anything else.
America's #1 tire now at America's #1 tire store.
Who's gonna back you better than Sears?
Gentlemen, in preparing our...
Are you finding it harder and harder to get home in time to watch the evening news? Then you should know about the network that gives you news when you need it. A network made for people on the go. And because it's there all the time,
Mom, do you think this is such a good idea?
it lets you take your time.
And that's the news. Good night.
CNN Headline News. The latest news, business, and sports around the clock.
Where can you use the Players Club card? Las Vegas, Atlantic City, the Caribbean, on cruise ships. Sometimes you just need to get away from it, all right? But these days, you got to be smart about it. With a Players Club card, you save 50% off your room, 25% off food and drinks, up to 50% off shows. The Players Club card. Have some fun the smart way.
New members get 2 free nights in Las Vegas or Atlantic City when the club books their flights. Call toll-free right now. There's no obligation.